Our company inspires black people to keep our dollars circulating in our communities, brothers and sisters, and we encourage you to be intentional with your spending. In other words, don't just spend your dollar where you're not going to get anything for it. Right now, when we spend our money, we get receipts, but we're not getting anything of real value for our dollars. So you have to make your dollars go to work for you. So I'm giving you the following information. There's going to be a lot of information here that you all are going to need to process, because it reveals to you the position that black people in America are in, and most of us didn't know that. We're in a very, very important position in this country, brothers and sisters. A very important position. So we're in a very, very important position, brothers and sisters. A very important position. This is why I'm going to give you all this information, because it's time to stop depending on the government, is what I'm saying, brothers and sisters. We depend on the government about 100% to take care of us. So we've got to take this opportunity with this pandemic scare that's going on around here in this country and around the world. We've got to take advantage of that, because everybody else is sitting back doing basically nothing, waiting to see what the government is going to do. And we've got an opportunity to move forward, brothers and sisters, but it only works if we work collectively. We have to do this together. Now, Americans have been laid off of their jobs. I know a lot of you have heard about that, and some of you all listening out on the call on this broadcast, you're probably victims of that. You've been laid off from your jobs. And the unemployment rate is predicted to go up about 30% in the second quarter of 2020. That's a lot of people laid off with a 30% unemployment rate. So, but like I said, even in an adverse situation, those who are smart still find ways to make money. So let's keep that in mind. Now, the experts, the so-called experts, are predicting that $2.5 trillion will be lost in income from people being laid off from their jobs and from employment closing down. So we're losing a lot of money that we are used to, we've been accustomed to having to spend and do the things that we want to do. But this pandemic has put a damper on everything, brothers and sisters. But like I said, we have to take advantage of this situation. Another thing that you all need to understand is that up to April of this year, 22 million people were unemployed. Leading up to this month, we've got a count of about 22 million unemployed people, brothers and sisters. And 9.2 million American workers are without health insurance. So the country is in, I don't want to say dire straits, but we've never seen it like this before. I know we've had depressions in the past, but this pandemic has really, like I said, put a damper on things. So we've got 26.5 million Americans who are unemployed because of the pandemic scare, and they're not able to register for unemployment, brothers and sisters, because of downed websites and clogged phone lines. In other words, the government, who's supposed to be issuing out unemployment checks, they weren't ready for this. So the websites are not able to handle the traffic that's coming in for the unemployment, because the numbers of people who are unemployed is staggering, and they weren't ready for it. The phone lines are clogged up. So a lot of people are not being serviced as far as unemployment is concerned, and the same thing is happening with the stimulus check that a lot of us are supposed to be getting. Some people are getting the checks, but then many of them aren't, because they can't get through. They can't even register to get the money. Because like I said, the government wasn't ready for this. But we have to be ready. We have to be ready to make money where there is no money or where there seems not to be money. And that's what Recreating Black Wall Street is all about, brothers and sisters. It's about us uniting and taking our rightful place in this country where everybody else is at a standstill. We have an excellent opportunity. Now, the Labor Department statistics show that only 71% of the people who apply for unemployment are getting payments. 71% of the people. And once again, that's because they weren't ready for it. They don't have the computer science to take care of it or the phone lines because the people are flooding into these government agencies trying to get unemployment. And many states don't have the staff. Keep that in mind. They haven't had a chance to go out and hire and train people that are needed to update the computer systems that will allow the people to receive their money. So it's a lot of chaos going on right now, brothers and sisters. And America is the most powerful country in the world, but we weren't ready for this. So many laid off Americans are depleting their savings accounts, brothers and sisters, while they're waiting on their unemployment. That's another thing that's going to be a hindrance to Americans. Even the ones that had money saved up. Well, it's only, a certain amount of time that you can pull from that money, a pile of money, without replenishing it. So they're depleting their savings even. We've never seen it like this before, brothers and sisters, but it's still an opportunity, and I keep saying that over and over. It's an opportunity for us who see the vision to move forward and prosper in these uncertain times. Another thing I wanted to make you all aware of is this meat situation, the beef and the chicken and the pork. It could be scarce as toilet paper, brothers and sisters, very soon, because many meat processing plants have shut down due to the coronavirus pandemic. Okay? So, they don't want contaminated meat. And a lot of those workers got contaminated. They were diagnosed with, positive for that disease. So they had to shut a lot of those meat packing places down. And this is why all of these scenarios that I just gave you, brothers and sisters, is why the idea of recreating Black Wall Street is so important for us right now. Because if we start now, brothers and sisters, while the rest of the country is staying home, waiting to see what happens, we'll be in a better position when all this is over. Black people in America will be in a lot better position when this is over. Because it's like we're getting a head start now. With recreating Black Wall Street, we are getting a head start. Now, like I've said before, in every recession or depression, brothers and sisters, smart people get rich and other people remain poor. You just have to have a plan. And our plan is to revisit that model called Black Wall Street of the 1920s, where these black people knew what it took to be prosperous. Somewhere down the line, brothers and sisters, we forgot that. We lost it. But we can get it back because we're being forced into it. We're being forced into buying from and selling to each other. And if you notice, every prosperous race of people, other than black people in this country, they do that. They buy from and sell to each other. And in a lot of cases, they sell to us. They don't buy from us, but they sell to us. And see, that's what it's all about. It's about selling. You've got to sell. I know that word might seem poison to some people because, traditionally we're consumers. We've been content with just buying. But if the jobs are closing down, brothers and sisters, you have to create your own job. And this is what the Durham Corporation is affording you to do. Create your own job. Let us set you up as distributors. Small distributors in our business. Where you buy one bottle of product and sell 2 bottles over and over and over to the same people. And it's just that simple. Because we are circulating money. We're not spending money. We're circulating the price of a bottle of product so that everybody can receive a check every month. Everybody who participates and follows our instructions. So we want to set you up in your own small startup business, brothers and sisters. We want you to do just like the Arabs and the Asians do. We want you to sell. They don't have a problem with poverty and ghettos. Not in this country. They live in some of the best neighborhoods in the country, brothers and sisters, and many of them just got here. But they came here with one mindset, and that's selling. That's what they do. They sell. And if we're going to prosper as a race of people, brothers and sisters, we've got to pattern ourselves after some of these people who are successful sellers. And it's not a lot that you have to sell, but you have to do it continuously, over and over. It's about consistency. Selling a bottle of product to the same people over and over and over. And it's only 2 bottles that you're responsible for. And I have to keep stressing that because a lot of our people think that, it might be too much for them to do. But when you look at what's at stake, brothers and sisters, the way this economy is going, and a government that can't really provide for you right now and can't give you any answers, it's time to start doing something for yourself. Okay, let's pattern ourselves after these Asians and these Arabs who come into our neighborhoods and sell black hair care products to us. Well, this company manufactures black hair care products. So if they got rich selling black hair care products to us, why can't we get rich selling black hair care products to each other? That's all I'm saying. They've been taken out of the equation, brothers and sisters. Their stores are closed up right now. And I'm not saying that's anything to be laughing about, anything like that, or proud of, but it's given us an opportunity to follow that same pattern of becoming wealthy. Let's do what they did. They moved into our neighborhoods and they sold black hair care products to us and became wealthy. The problem is that they took the wealth out of our community, back to wherever they're living. We need to circulate our money in our own communities. And then eventually we'll have the money to move out and start our own communities. Get away from all the crime and the racism and police brutality, brothers and sisters. We have enough money. We generate enough money, and I'm going to get into that a little later, and some of you all have heard me talk about it, how much money black Americans generate. The wealthiest black nation in the world is black Americans. Richer than all of the 54 African countries, richer than all the Caribbean countries and all the Aborigines in Australia. And blacks anywhere else in the world. We are richer than all of them. And we're richer than most countries out there, brothers and sisters. There are only 11 countries that have more spending power than we have. We're the 12th largest economy in the world. Black Americans. But see, when you recreate Black Wall Street, we teach you what to do with that money. At least a portion of it anyway. It's harder to be poor than it is to be rich, brothers and sisters. You have to work real hard at being poor. It's easy to be rich. All it takes is unity. We've got a 90-day millionaire program that I can put you in a little later, where everybody that participates from the time they enroll or become employed, they can be a millionaire in 90 days. But it takes cooperation. So we're taking baby steps right now with buying 1 bottle and selling 2 bottles. Those are the baby steps, and we'll still get there. We're still on the same path to becoming millionaires. We just want to make it easy for everybody. Like I said, this is the same formula that Mary Kay, Amway, Shackley, and all of those other direct marketing companies use. They buy from and sell to each other. Except they're buying from the company. Keep this in mind now. They're buying from the company, Amway and Mary Kay. They buy from the company and sell to people. Well, see, we're going to do it a little differently because you're going to buy from each other and you're going to sell to each other. That way you become rich all across the board. Not just my company becoming rich, but you all too. See, because when you do it the way that they do it, you've got to sell a lot of product to a lot of different people in order to become wealthy. With my system, my company provides you with the product so you can go into business for yourself and buy from and sell to each other. And as long as we keep the price of a bottle of product circulating, brothers and sisters, everybody can be wealthy. It'll be easy to move you into the Millionaires Club then. But right now, we got to get the people lined up. Get your customers lined up. It shouldn't be that hard to get 2 people. All you need to do is sell 1 bottle to 2 people, brothers and sisters. But it can be the hardest thing in the world if you're talking to the wrong people. So I admonish you all to look for reliable people, brothers and sisters, not friends and relatives necessarily that you want to see prosper, who are not going to sell their bottles of product. After they buy it from you, then they won't go out and sell to others. And it's a funny thing, the Koreans and the Arabs and the Asians have no trouble finding black people to sell their products to. They have no trouble. But if a black person tells you they can't find 2 black people to sell 2 bottles of black hair care products to, leave that person alone. He's spiritually asleep. We've got brothers and sisters out there who are spiritually awake, and they'll see the need for us to wake up and start doing something for ourselves. And we have a perfect model right here, recreating Black Wall Street. So we need a lot of us doing a little, brothers and sisters, instead of a few of us doing a lot. And this is what we've had in the past. A few of us doing a lot to make some money. But it doesn't take that. It takes a lot of us doing a little. And a little is selling 2 bottles of product. 1 bottle to 2 different people. That's a little. And you only need to work 2 days out of the month, because you're going to sell your bottle of product to these same 2 people every other week, twice a month. And you're going to buy your bottle of product from your same distributor or salesperson every other week. That's how you keep the money circulating, brothers and sisters. And everybody's fed when we circulate money. Now, the money that you get from the company on a monthly basis is the money that you spend. But the price of the product, we have to keep that circulating. So Black Wall Street taught us the importance of working together, brothers and sisters, working in unity in order to get the things that we want. So go back and read about Black Wall Street. It's the same thing that we're doing now, buying from and selling to each other. It's a heck of a concept, but you have to find the brothers and sisters who are ready for this. And this economy is very fast getting them ready for it. When they find out that they don't have it coming from anywhere else, there's nowhere else to turn, then perhaps they'll start doing it for themselves. And this is what we want them to do. And like I said, Black Americans are the 12th largest economy in the world, brothers and sisters. And I'm not just talking about a section of the country, I'm talking about the entire world. And when you understand that we have more wealth than most countries out there, except 11 others, it's almost scary. Why are we living in poverty? Black Americans is a country within itself that has more spending power than every country in the world except 11 countries. Think about that. So we generate $1.2 trillion in spending power, brothers and sisters. So there's no reason for us to be poor. $1.2 trillion. Most countries out there, brothers and sisters, and if you want to see who they are, we've talked about them on earlier broadcasts, so I won't be redundant and bring that up on every broadcast. But there are countries out there that they do billions of dollars a year, but nobody reaches the trillion but a select few. And that's 12 countries in the world, and Black America is one of those countries inside of America that reached the trillion dollar mark. It's not a lot of countries out there doing $1 trillion a year, brothers and sisters, but Black Americans do. And when you look at countries like Russia and Canada and France, they're not that far ahead of us. We're at 1.2 trillion, And so they're at like some of them at 1.5, 1.8. And these are huge countries, brothers and sisters. And we're a group of people inside of America generating this much money. It's scary. What are we going to do with it? At some point, we've got to wake up and start using our money for our benefit like everybody else does. So there's no reason for us to be poor. Black Wall Street teaches us to keep circulating the price of one bottle of product, brothers and sisters, between us. That's all it takes. It's all about cooperation. Durham Corporation has the model. It has the products. It has the program, the employment opportunity. All you all need to do is find two good, reliable people to sell your product to over and over. Now let's take a look at this, and it's very important. And this is for the newcomers. I know some of you all who've been on the following the broadcast already heard this, but you got to admire the Hispanics, brothers and sisters, because they circulate their money 6 to 8 times before it leaves their community. That's spending power. That means that they're able to open up businesses in their neighborhoods, brothers and sisters. That means that they have businesses in their neighborhoods and they're spending money with each other. Now, whites circulate their money 8 to 12 times before it leaves their community. Asians and Arabs circulate their money 13 to 14 times before it leaves their community. Jewish people circulate their money 18 times before it leaves their community. And the lifespan of the black dollar, brothers and sisters, is about 6 hours. And that's basically because we don't have a lot of black businesses in our neighborhoods to spend our money with. So our money is gone out of the community in less than 6 hours. We get paid and we go and we take that money and spend it with somebody else. And they take the money to wherever they live and circulate our dollars in their neighborhood to make their community prosperous. And many of our people are living in poverty, living in ghettos, and way under the poverty level. Because we have all this money and don't have any direction as to what to do with it. Because for one thing, we can't unite. We can't work together. And that's like a curse, brothers and sisters. Any race of people that can't work together in unity is the ruination of a nation. So we got to think about that. And we got to change that. So if I can make you understand the power that we have from buying from and selling to each other, brothers and sisters, this is when our dollars will continue to circulate in our communities at least 8 to 12 times. Now you've got the money to open up businesses in your community because we're keeping the money in the community. 8 to 12 times. And it can be done more than that once we really get Black Wall Street moving. We'll be able to keep it just about indefinitely, except for things that we don't sell in our community. But once we open up our own stores, we'll be keeping that money in our community 50 or 60 times before it leaves. We'll be able to open up our own businesses and spend money with each other, and the communities will prosper after that. See, that'll strengthen our position in America, brothers and sisters. As far as racism, discrimination, police brutality, as far as any of those things are concerned. But see, you have to have had enough. And that's the whole thing. That's the whole key. A lot of our people haven't had enough yet. They march and they complain, but have they really had enough? Because if you've had enough, you'll do something about it. You start uniting, you start working together like other races of people. They don't have the same problems that we have in our communities, if you notice. You don't hear about Arab children or Asian children getting shot down in the street because they have unity. They have voices to speak for them. They have money. When you have money, you can get behind politicians, brothers and sisters. You can put your vote and your money behind politicians who will speak up for you in Congress if things like that happen. Right now, if you see an epidemic of black kids getting shot down in the street and nobody's speaking up, no politician is saying anything about it, that's because we're giving votes away free without getting anything back. You're giving free votes away, brothers and sisters. If you're going to vote for somebody, they've got to do something for you. And us uniting, circulating our money, having enough financial power to make demands, that's what it's all about, brothers and sisters. Because like I said, we have $1.2 trillion worth of spending power. And we're the only black people in the world, brothers and sisters, that has the economic strength to change our conditions from poor to rich. We're the only one. Collectively, we're rich. But individually, many of our people are poor. Because that key ingredient is missing, and it's called unity. And with unity comes buying from and selling to each other. That's the unity. Like other races do. We cannot continue to be afraid of the word sell, brothers and sisters. Any prosperous nation of people are sellers. So keep that in mind. If you're going to prosper in this world, you have to sell something. You can't just buy. And we can all start by allowing the Durham Corporation to set you up in your own small startup business, is what I'm saying, brothers and sisters, that you can work from home. So this pandemic scare doesn't bother us because you can work from home with what we're talking about. And we were doing this before the pandemic. Before all of this came about, we were still working from home, making phone calls. Everybody know 2 friends or relatives who need some money. And we're speaking about anywhere from $500 to $1,500 every month. Everybody knows somebody who would be willing to sell 2 bottles of product to receive some money. And you can receive that within 30 to 60 days after you start your employment with Durham Corporation, depending on how fast you can sell your 2 bottles. And depending on how fast the 2 people that you sell your 2 bottles to can each sell 2 bottles. So I admonish you, don't get people into what we're doing in this employment opportunity who don't have the wherewithal to sell. It shouldn't take any more than over 7 to 14 days to sell 2 bottles of product, brothers and sisters. You should be able to get on the phone and tell people to come on this call or explain to them what we're doing, and they'll buy the product that same day. That's the way it should be. But I know some of y'all have to convince people to, do the right thing, do what they should be doing on their own anyway. I know what's going on out there, but you have to stay at it. You have to stay at it. You don't succeed in business just because somebody says no. Because for every person that says no, you're going to get closer to that person that's going to say yes. So you have to keep knocking on doors, brothers and sisters. That's your job. To be financially secure and never have to work a day in your life again unless you want to. That's your job. Find you 2 good, reliable people. Then it's easy to make you a millionaire because all we do then is increase the amount of product they buy. Right now it's 1 bottle. So if everybody's buying 1 case, you can see how the pay, your sales commission is going to increase. And then if everybody's buying 2 cases, you can see how it's going to increase. It constantly increases, is what I'm saying. And whatever you spend on a case of product or 2 cases or 5 cases is coming from me. Keep that in mind. It's not coming out of your pocket. The only thing that's coming out of your pocket is that when you first start, the price of 1 bottle, which is $30, plus a $5.50 shipping cost. Because it's $11 to ship 2 bottles. And your portion of that $11 is $5.50. So everybody's paying $35.50 for the bottle of product. So it can be shipped. And whoever sell you the 2 bottles, you'll pick your product up from them once they send their money in. and you know, pay for the product, and then we'll ship it to them, and you can pick your product up from them. The main thing is you have to find your two customers to sell your product to. And it's not about stocking product, brothers and sisters. It's about collecting the money from people who trust you. And you'll send it in. It'll be $71 total. That's 60 plus the 11 to ship. $71 total. We will ship you the 2 bottles of product to give to your 2 customers. If they live in different cities, then it's $11 to ship to each address. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. But like I said, the most important thing is to get your 2 good, reliable customers, brothers and sisters. You can't beat that. It's not going to work with you just, you know, going out getting relatives that